Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess. Today we are at the next topic and we are going to use the indicators of attack yet again. And today's topic is about guessing the indicator. We will see how one should look at the indicators. See, we have learned around 8 indicators so far. So main is king in the center. Here both have king in the center. Second is pawn break in the center. Then we saw line of communication, that is open file, rank and diagonals. Then we saw the line of barrier created between 2 points or 2 places. Then we saw the 7th and 8th ranks. Then we saw how to demolish the pawn cover. So these are the main indicators of attack. Today we will see which indicator of attack we can identify in this position. White sees that he has mild edge in development, lead in development. Move is his moreover. Black has the bishop pair, but the f8 bishop is stuck. So white decides on a sacrifice here. So here the main indicator of attack is the king in the center. Even though white has the king in center, we see that white's chances of getting away with the king is slightly more, although the king remains throughout in the middle for both. So the second factor that comes here into play is white's space. The pawn is ahead on d5. So he uses a pawn sacrifice, that is pawn break in the center, which is what is the main factor in this case. And then some unusual moves follow, where white after the sacrifice of pawn is not in a rush to regain his material. This is where this example is way more different than whatever we have seen so far. Initially I was a bit skeptical about including this. It's a bit of positional play along with the sacrifice, which is little tricky. Let's get to the game quickly. White played e5, sacrificing the pawn on e4 for the square on e4, plus white will get a passed pawn on the d5. D takes e5, knight e4, queen f4, trying to improve the position of the queen, but it turns out that queen is not at all well placed on f4. White plays a very unusual move, knight fd2. The knight goes back after the sacrifice. See, the knight is eyeing on the c4 square. We are protecting the e4 square. Not only that, we are threatening to go now g3. So after g3 the queen lacks space. See, there is a major threat now. g3, queen f5, h3, and once the bishop leaves support of the queen, knight d6 check and the queen would be lost. Many a player would fall in for this. Black sidesteps with the move bishop f5. Now g3 is met by be4, even though that is somewhat better. White plays simply, white goes bishop d3. Now bishop takes e4 and knight takes e4. Black goes knight d7 and now white plays g3. Another small trap here, queen should go to the square g4. After queen f3, which looks quite decent, there is rook g1, first saving the rook, and now there is the threat of bishop e2. Any developing move like b7 would allow be2, queen f5, knight d6 check when the queen is again lost. So black goes queen g4, h3 attacking the queen, queen h5 and d6. We can say that the first phase of white's plan has got completed. The pawn has reached d6, f8 bishop is stuck. We see the pawn on d6 creating a major barrier here, which is another indicator of attack. The pawn divides the king side and the queen side here. The king side pieces never managed to get developed in this game for black. Black plays the move qg6 here. It looks like a very strange move, but note that white is threatening too many things here, which doesn't look at first. First threat was, if black does nothing, then white has queen c4 followed by queen d5 when the queen penetrates on c6. Secondly, in many cases, after rook d1, this queen on h5 does nothing to protect or stop white's queen's entry. So black goes qg6. One of the intention could be, if qc4, maybe going queen e6. Also d6 is attacked. White simply ignores the threat. He goes queen e2, setting a dangerous trap. If bishop takes d6, then comes the intermezzo rook d1. See, firstly threatening knight d6 check, queen d6, bishop f5 or b5 when the d7 knight is lost. If bishop doesn't move, that is the threat. If castle, then knight d6, q6, bh7 check. Queen is lost. If long castle, then knight d6, q6, ba6 check, and the queen is lost. If the bishop moves to c7 or e7, both places, knight takes c5, discovered attack on the queen, and then knight d7. That is also a losing position. So bd6 loses by force. Black goes f5. Now black starts taking desperate measures which white actually simply ignores throughout the game. White is seemingly doing nothing special. Look at black's position. Black is unable to develop anything. Now white finds one good move after another. g4, simply seeing that after fe be4 the rook and queen both are attacked. So now f5 will be traded by force. c4, another trap here. If bishop c4 then fe. So bishop b1, f takes g4, queen takes c4. With every exchange, white's positional advantage has only grown. Queen f7, trying to trade the queens. qc6 attacks the rook. Rook d8, h takes g4, g6. Black wants to get the f8 bishop to g7 and perhaps go rook g8. Knight c5, rook g8, bishop e4. If bishop a2, then also white is winning. White is looking for more here, bg7. And here white played na6 in the game, and after nc7 he soon won. But there is a terrific tactic here. There comes knight takes d7, rook takes d7, queen c8 check, rook d8, bc6 check, forcing qd7, king f8 allows queen d8, queen e8, queen e8 mates. And after bd7, king f7, b6 check, we see that everything is lost for black. And after queen takes d7, there is the mating fork with bishop g6 check. One would have expected qc4 winning for white. bc6 and the rook was attacked, but see, after king f8, queen f3 check, bf6 forced, queen f6, queen f6 and queen f7 mates. Incredible game by Grandmaster Chernin. The moves were somewhat difficult to find, but we saw the concept of breakthrough taking up the major part of the game, and the d6 pawn which created the barrier. I hope you are finding these lessons useful and instructive. Thanks for your time.